Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this is the incomparable Kendra, moderating the chat room and controlling the cameras.
Guess what? My best friend and I just did a reading and write-a-thon. We called it a readathon, but with like a W at the beginning. So like
a readathon.
A readathon, yes.
Nice.
And we like would alternate between reading and writing.
How long is that?
We did like 12 hours.
Okay, not bad. Just for the fun of it, because you like doing that stuff.
Just for the fun of it.
Okay, when's your like all night read-a-thon thing that you do? Or is that still no? That's not a thing.
Well, we haven't done it in a while, but my friends and I have done like 24-hour readathon challenges where we'll like try to just read for 24 hours. But then around like 5 in the morning, it's time to sleep now.
As all overnighters seem to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a great idea, and then you get there like, this is terrible.
Exactly.
I feel horrible. And the next day you're like, I'm never doing that again.
Right.
And then next week you're like, I've got a great idea. Yep. Cool.
I remember.
Well, let's do this. Our song today, we're just going to try to go through. This is the kind of stuff that you're looking at if you're doing any of the jazz sections of the Kloppel Academy thing. And you don't usually get to see these because I usually simplify them all for you. So this is like one of the more advanced versions, but I'm going to show you how to play all this stuff note by note. So you can either go with me reading the notes, or you can just follow my hands here. We're going to start on a C, because every time we have a note that the head of the note is a circle that is on the 1, 2, 3, third space out of the 4 spaces that we have here, then that's always going to be a C every single time. As long as we are in the treble clef, as long as this thing's at the beginning of it, then the third space up is always going to be a C. And you can see that from there, you're just going to go down 1 notch from the third space to the third line. 1, 2, 3, third line. So all the notes go either on lines or spaces. And so we're just going from that one, down one. So we're going to go from there, down one. Technically, you land on a B. That's kind of important, I guess, but I'm not paying attention to any of the letters as I'm reading through this stuff. I'm just paying attention to how far up or down the next note is. So, for example, from here to here, I'm just thinking go down one. And then from there to there, I'm just thinking go down one. And then from there to there, I'm thinking go down one. Now, this is a tie right here, so you would not play the second note because these two notes are tied together. That's what that swoopy line means. We're just going to hang on to that one. And then we would go from there to there, up one. And then we'd go from there to there, up one. And then this one's kind of tricky because we're on a space and we're going to a space, which means we're skipping over a line. So we would skip over a note because that would be on the line. So that's the space and that's the space. So to go back and go a little bit slower through this, what we'd have so far is start on a C and then go down one, down one, down one, down one. Hold on to that one, up one, and skip over. So that's what.
Jamin,
yeah.
Do you have the PDF for this week's?
It is not uploaded yet because we just upgraded our the space that we have on our site and they changed the file structure, so I can't upload with FileZilla. That means something to someone out there or not. What it means is, none of the PDFs and MP3s for this week, for today, are up. All the other ones would be, but today's would not be current. So I'm gonna have to throw this one up after the lesson as soon as the file structures change on siteground.com. Thanks,
Sounds
SiteGround.
Great.
Okay, cool. So fly me to the moon and let me, and then from there we would go down one to get to play, and then down one. And then down one, and then down one, and then down one. So those are all just down one. And of course, this swoopy line right here is called a tie, tying those two notes together. Every time you see those swoopy lines, it just means don't play that second note, just hold on to the first one. So the entire first line looks like this. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. One more time. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. All right, cool. So from there, we're going to skip down to the next line. When I say, okay, cool, that doesn't mean you have it down perfectly. Way to go. That means hopefully that all makes enough sense that you can either practice it or you can rewind the video and go back and follow along with me so you know what to practice next. So the goal is not to have this thing down by the end of the lesson, just to know what to practice. So this one right here, this is I can't tell from the last note to this note what it's supposed to be. I guess I could if I went, all right, this note right here is on the bottom line. So if I go to this next one, if I went from the bottom line up to this note, that would be like 1, 2, 3 notches up. So I could do that. My last note was this one, and I could go 1, 2, 3 notches up and find out that this next one, the one that goes with the word let, is supposed to be that note right there. Happens to be an A. Or, if I wanted to, at the beginning of each of these lines, instead of trying to compare it to the line before it, I could just remember that, again, this third space was a C, and the second space is an A, and the fourth space is an E, and the first space is always an F. And that spells the word face, which all piano teachers seem to think is pretty cool, but it's not helpful at all because face has nothing to do with music. But whatever. The spaces of the treble clef spell the word face. So that means that this one right here is going to be an A. So that means if we go over to here and take a look at some other space, we could go to this one right here. So for example, hold. So if I just spell the word face on those spaces, that would mean that this one right here is going to be a C. So that's one way that people read these notes, is just trying to memorize, like they've got all their sayings for all the like lines and spaces and stuff. For example, the lines of the treble clef are E, G, B, D, F. And so like people say like every good band deserves fudge, or every good boy does fine, or something like that. So anyway, there's like sayings for all the lines and spaces. If I were you, I would just remember the face one and then just go from there. You can figure out if you've got a note right here that's on a line and it's not on a space. If you know that this one right here is a C, you could just go up one notch and you would land on the next note up from a C, which would be a D. So I think with face,
Jamin, it's time for the feature of the day, which today is the question of the day.
Yes, because we have important things coming up, important changes. Hopefully.
Which is, when are office hours? Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fine, because that is the question of the day. So we're adding in office hours to the normal live lessons. We were doing like the piano and guitar and drums and stuff like that. But as it turns out, like a lot of the drum people were showing up at the guitar lesson with questions and stuff like that. So we're just going to make it office hours, so you guys can send in your questions ahead of time and either show up live to the office hours or just go back and see what questions were answered and stuff and see the answers to other people's questions. So that'll be up to you when you want the office hours to be. So let me know. Send me an email. If you're a subscriber, then you've got my text number as well. So you can just text my personal cell or send me an email or whatever. And let me know when you want the office hours to be during the week. We're probably thinking 2 or 3 times a week we'd have office hours as a regular thing. So let me know when you want that to be. Let's get back to our song after this short break. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out, and if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.